So, Sheriff, serious question. This information, putting out, we're supposed to air that lost URP episode.
I think it gets lost for another week.
I think so too. We have been given clearance from PNN to air it, but I think we got some fresh information here. And on a side note, I wrote down a joke, and I don't know why, but it says, "Now please don't take what I'm saying for pomegranate."
Pop is popping and locking. Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Max podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 14th episode of the Poppin' Mags Pinecast. Mags, we're at 87 days since we've been told we can take our NFTs off of Theta Drop, and guess what I did today?
You took them off?
I put on a hat. Can't take them off. I put it on.
Finally. I thought you would have done it sooner. It seemed like after last episode when it was 80 days.
Well, I said that I was going to. I didn't say I was going to right away. I followed through.
Okay, I'll give it to you. I thought you were going to do it ASAP as possible, but you took a few days.
I had to find the right hat, It was a very strenuous process.
Right.
No, the Rangers are, that wasn't going to work. So I went with the cartoon sheriff hat, I'm a cartoon sheriff. It fits it's a little tight, but yeah, there is. Yeah. All right.
That was my impression of when I saw that.
It gives that impression. And you know what? It's like, do I take this guy seriously or not? But either way, you see that hat and you listen, right? That's my hope.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It either looks like that, or to the untrained eye, it might look like a Stanzo brand fedora. But yeah, it gets the job done.
Yes, it does. And well, speaking of getting the job done, I mean, our guest this week is just on a tear. And we got some unsanctioned underground Pine games coming up for your entertainment. Mags, tell us a little bit about it.
Our guest, basically, he's been working on the Pine Games apparatus on Discord. He came up with another mechanism where a pineapple can fight another pineapple by number.
Yeah, one on one.
One on one, and so now there's a leaderboard. So we're like testing it out in beta right now, I guess. And it is. I've been having a blast with it the past couple days.
It is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's great. So and I think it's only going to get better. So it looks like now Monday. So hopefully I don't put out a Tuesday Pinecast. I hope we put out a Monday Pinecast, but we're gonna. I think it starts. What was it? 6? Is it 6 a.m. Pacific?
I think 6 a.m. It opens. Yeah, the open entry.
Yeah, right. Opens, and then it's at 6 Pacific.
That it
specifically it starts. Right. A lot of people. So a lot of pines. When we were talking about this, we want to get some prize support. So I offered up a floor pine. So that's going to be the first. That's going to be the first prize to the winner.
What a class move by you, honestly. I'll give you a hard time, but that was classy.
So I have some to spare, and and
just trying to clean up your account here a little bit.
Right. Hey, you know what? I might give one with a prop too. I might. So
whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I do have a lot of half pineapples, so.
You're definitely not giving one with the olive background.
I can't do anything to jeopardize my standing with the background challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to double check afterwards just to make sure. You might have to take that crown away.
Can't do that. And and I don't know if it was mentioned, but NEC, friend of the Pinecast, he also completed the background challenge.
I did see that he claimed that, and it just makes me cringe, when I see these pineapples claiming these challenges that aren't really challenges. It's like, this thing is, you've really got this thing taken off. I know you say that no one pays attention and that only people pay attention to URP's fake challenges, but you've really started a snowball rolling here, and it just gets me cringing every time. It's like, oh, another one. You had Aragorn the 1 week, and now you got NEC. Oh boy, who's next? Not sure.
I think Brody's SPS Brody. Shout out to Brody. He's working. He's not there yet, but he's working on the weapons challenge. He's getting very close, I believe.
The guns challenge specifically.
The guns challenge. Now, I didn't even think we were going to talk about this, and I forgot about this completely because this has been going on for a while. But I think there was a little debate if the squirt gun counts, and I was in the camp.
There was a debate, yeah.
I was in the camp that it is because it is a gun. But
Wait, now, so the squirt gun counts in the gun challenge, but the machete doesn't count for the sword challenge?
right, because the machete basically is a big knife.
But
What it,
the squirt gun is like a kid's toy.
but it's a you said the key word right there, gun. You could do a lethal gun challenge and a non-lethal, I guess. But I mean, I guess you could put acid in the gun. So
But wouldn't the acid melt the gun?
maybe when it hits the
It's
air.
plastic.
So maybe when it. Well, I don't have it. I'm not a scientist.
You're not? You're everything
I'm
else
not.
but a scientist.
But it is a gun, and I think that should be celebrated in the gun challenge.
Yeah, that's fine. It just makes it more difficult to get. And I think I know somebody that has one. Curious if there's a correlation there.
Really? Who's that?
I don't know. You opened it, though. I remember him opening.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Like Blueberry from the Pine Games fame.
Exactly. The Booberry. Yeah.
Yeah, he got that big contract with General Mills. He was
deserved it.
Yeah, he was on the cover of Blueberry cereal. So it was
As he should be.
as he should be. But yeah, I'm not there yet. I think I need a golden gun, a PPK, and the Beretta. So
Oh, that's it.
That's
so by
it,
next
but-
week.
hopefully not.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of pines that were purchased this week, I had a couple notes here. And one of them was what's being called a full tiger that I'm not quite sure qualifies as a full tiger because there's no tiger blindfold on it. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, let's just straighten this up for everyone out there who confused as hell, unless they're into the pineapples. I think there's a lot of people that just like to hear us talk.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah, I would agree. But what are we talking about?
We're talking about the full tiger.
The full tiger, yeah. So there is the full pig that's been dubbed. I think you are.
That's full hog, right? Full hog.
Full hog. Okay, I'm sorry. The full hog, which is a pink beast head and a pink T-shirt torso.
But doesn't that also, like, the perfect pig also has the pink background?
Power pink background. Correct. That is not what is referred to as the full hog.
Okay.
Full hog.
So you're going full hog is upper and lower.
Upper and lower.
Okay.
And you were kind of trolling me about the tiger blindfold.
Well, of course. I mean, it's just, that's how
there's only freaking two of them. I mean,
well, come on, get one.
Right.
There's only two of us.
maybe we'll be on well, it can't be on the zombie, but who knows?
Right, unless it was a custom zombie.
Unless it was a custom zombie, which then the debate would rage: it is a zombie at all then because it's a custom? And I've already went too far into one camp to cut and change my position on that.
I actually have that on my notes here to bring up to you later. But so thank you for throwing wet socks on that one.
Yeah, I mean, more details of the questions would have to be given before I could fully commit to one way or the other. I mean, there could be some legal shenanigans with that. Like they tried to trap me. They tried to trap me last time with was it the pine goo?
Yeah.
They tried to trap me, and I was like, well, no, it's different because one's generative and the other one isn't. Like if you have a custom, then it's a custom. Good for you, but you don't get to. I don't think you get to have your cake and eat it too. But I mean, if it looks like a zombie custom, then yeah, it's a zombie, but you shouldn't have the perks and privileges of the zombie.
It's not a real zombie. Yeah, it's a custom.
Right.
But that brings up a question that I would like to get your opinion on. It's well known that you're after a zombie, and rightfully so. I mean, obviously, I think you deserve it for all you're doing. And, in an ideal world, this floor pine that you're giving away for free out of the kindness of your heart would be repaid with a guardian zombie with a T-fuel pin that's got a James Bond
or a T-fuel floater. That's fine too.
Or T-fuel floater. But no, you got the Guardian though. So, but if it came down to it and you had a choice, you were gonna buy one or the other. Are you buying a generative zombie or are you buying the zombie custom?
I think I don't know. That is like too crazy to even think about. One, oh man. I think I would prefer the generative, which sounds weird, just because the attributes are so rare. but two, like we don't know what the custom one looks like. But there is a custom one that
We
seen.
do
We
know.
do. But I mean, there could be another one too.
There could be another one, but what if, just the one that you've seen? It's got like the sword sheath in the back, like the the backpack on or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool, and I like that. There's 4 zombies as we've mentioned. And generative. I think out of it, if I had my choice out of it, if I had to rank the zombies, I would go that are out there. I would go the zombie king with the claws.
Sure.
One. Then I would go with Will's with the banana.
Okay.
Will one. And then the other two are toss up. Like the one with the baseball bat. Yeah, it's fine. It's got a Theta hat, and it's got a nice background. It's got the Grape Czar. I kind of like the vet basic one.
Okay.
So I think I would go vet 3, baseball bat 4. I would value that one least.
So are you going king zombie or are you going zombie custom?
I am not prepared to have this conversation.
So it's close though. It's not. There's no immediate answer here.
If it was like a zombie Bond torso T-fuel pin, because Guardian or T-fuel floater with the oligarch olive, of course.
Obviously.
I think I'd rather have that than a custom zombie because, well, one, that would be a waste of a T-fuel pin.
Yeah.
If it's a custom, then it doesn't even count.
Right. Yeah. It's not in the data if it's a custom. Sure.
Right. I think that would compete. I'd really like to see where that falls in the rarity, the overall rarity, which could be suspect anyway. So we don't have all the data.
Yeah. But it's funny because I think this is probably the only instance of even struggling to decide whether you would want the custom versus the generative of a particular kind.
Sure. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird, but there is. It's just
they're rare. They're super rare. Yeah.
They're absolutely super rare because there's only going to be, I don't know, 80, 88 maybe customs that are not part of the 200, and that's rare. But like right now.
There's probably going to be 5 zombies. I would guess
maybe 4, maybe 5.
Yeah,
it could be made in the remaining 200. As we've discussed before. I can't believe we're talking this much about zombies, but it is what the people want to hear. I know
everybody wants to hear your opinion on zombies.
I get nothing but DMs all day about zombies. So
people are asking me what you think about zombies because you don't answer them quick enough.
Right. Yeah. So
there was another nice pine picked up this week, and I thought it was the rightful owner now owns it. Do you know which one I'm talking about off the top of your head?
It's not My Full Tiger?
No, a friend of the show though bought it.
Friend of the show bought it. Oh man, it had to be NEC.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'm just thinking because the market, I know he's actively purchasing still.
Well, there was one that he bought in particular that kind of goes along with this whole Chief O'Leary gig that he's got with the passaways.
Okay, a police officer. Oh, the police officer.
The Terminator cop, yeah.
Right, the Terminator cop. Yeah, I made him a hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Duh. Stupid Magnum.
Yeah, no, I thought that was, I saw that buy. What a great buy, too, where he got it at, man. Seemed pretty cheap. Seemed cheap just for a cop. And then for it to be the Terminator cop was quite the deal. So shout out to that. And it just it feels like it's at home, with his collection that he's got there. He's Chief O'Leary, and now he's the Terminator cop for the Pines.
I was thinking, Shadow, why are we talking about O'Leary so much today? We just talked about how he completed the background challenge. I think he only has like 40 Pines. It took me
just hit the 40 mark. Yeah.
Yeah, and it took me. I'm in the 80s. It took me somewhere in the 80s to achieve that mark. You know what I mean? So that's pretty pathetic on my part, but
he might have been targeting it. He likes I think he might have been trying to follow in his idol's footsteps here.
That I did not think about that. That sounds about right.
Like most of the men in our pineapple cult that we have are just chasing after Magnum. Yeah. So I don't know. I know we did touch on that the underground pine games, and I do want to thank you for throwing that pine in there, but from the sounds of it, it does sound like this one that is either happening today, as you listen to this, or happened yesterday, if it's on Tuesday, is just going to be kind of the start of this. I've heard some whispers of this being like a test the water kind of situation and, go from there. But I just want everyone to be clear here. This is like a grassroots, community driven kind of event just to, bring some unity to the Pine fam,
Yeah, I haven't been this excited in a while. The Pine Games, Wichita was a lot of fun, Pine Madness, but the Pine Games, man, that thing just, my heart was racing during all those matches. Yeah, everyone's not going to get accustomed, but we get some people together, come up with some prizes. So it seems like that's what we've been talking about. So
yeah,
and would love nothing more than to just ship some NFTs.
And even more than winning a prize, it's the camaraderie. Like nobody really won anything from Pine Madness other than you won the title belt.
Right.
But everyone had a great time just because it was the community came together. It was just like a giant ball busting month, basically. Everyone busting each other's chops and having a good time. And ideally, the vision that I tried to push on this is like, let's marry the Pine Games with Pine Madness. And that to me would just be incredible because, there were people asking like, oh, when's the next Pine Madness? I don't know if people understand like how much work that was and how difficult that was. If we had some kind of bot where we're doing it this way, dude, I'll put the brackets together. People want to join, I'll put the brackets together. We feed the matchups into it. That would be sick. I mean, me and you, front row seats, just commentating on this thing. Man, I could make a lifetime of doing that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. With the Pinecast going on, the old Pine Madness, I don't know if we could do both at the same time. You know what I mean?
Not a chance.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, man, that was ridiculous. Yeah,
there's a lot of work for not having a Pinecast, but
it was a lot of work for getting kicked out in the first round.
Never gets old. I love hearing
At least I took TZC with me, so that's okay.
That was dirty.
Times 2. Don't forget. Never forget. We had some NFTs drop this week that I don't know if everyone's seen them, but I'm going to say right now that these are probably the most beautiful NFTs that I've ever seen in my life.
And they're not pineapples.
And they are not pineapples. I'm sorry. They're not, but they are. It was in 3,000 by 3,000 pixels. I saw the picture and I was like, wow, like this thing is incredible. And then I opened it and I'm like, holy moly, like it's just insane the amount of detail, how much you can zoom in on it. We're obviously talking about the amazing Dragon Primes that dropped into the lucky metal print holders from Symbiote Creatives on Wednesday of this past week. And if you open it up and take a look, it's like just from the regular picture, it looks all shiny and pretty. You open it up and you like scroll in. Dude, you can see like dings in the armor and like screw holes. It's like, what amazing detail on this. It just blew my mind.
The only knock on it I would give, and I know you wouldn't give it any knocks, is I still can't tell which one's Empire Apple and Emeralds in the background of that.
Yeah, but, they mix it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's super cool, and it's just the first. This is just the first drop of many drops, right, for the Symbies and the
yeah. We got
rolls.
quite a few. We got quite a few coming up here. Basically every 15 days. I don't know if you have it up there, Mags, but if you do, would you mind reading the data? Like what that thing's all about?
Sure, of course.
Let the people know.
Okay, so we have here. We have the Dragon Prime VROA. So the details. The Colossus VROA, which is visual representation of accomplishment, NFTs will allow for both 1, the collection of digital data relating to in-game achievements, and 2, the visual display of achievement data on the NFT itself, which can then be traded between parties in the marketplace. Drilling down further, the Dragon Prime. The Dragon Prime is a hybrid breed of extraterrestrial species created from a prime and a dragon union, which was forbidden. The Dragon Prime was trained in an ancient ritual to destroy their enemies swiftly. He has the strength of the prime and the speed of a dragon. Now, No, that's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. But I
Here
think
comes the juice.
this is the juice. Character specific abilities: create, modify, and sell alien weaponry.
Wow.
And and there's 2 more: speed and strength. But yeah,
Yeah, who cares?
create, modify, and sell alien weaponry. So probably mentioned it before, but Sheriff, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Ivory's got this game cooking and it's been cooking for a while. And he just keeps on building on top of what I already thought was amazing. And just the thought of this, dude, it's like we own these Dragon Primes that are going to be able to literally in-game mint weapons that are going to be NFTs that you can then sell on the marketplace or use. I mean, have you ever heard of such a thing?
I've never heard of VROA either, but yes.
Well, no, the VROA is this is the first of its kind as well.
Right.
And I'm assuming that it's going to be mimicked thoroughly, because that's what all good ideas. We live in a mimic world. Somebody does something awesome, and the next thing you know, everyone's doing it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the VROA. So basically, if you're awesome at the game, you're going to have an opportunity to improve your NFT just through gameplay. And there's even there's stuff that we just found out this week about another one coming out that I'm not. If you're in the Discord, but I'm not going to spill that until it's dropped, probably Friday, September 2nd. But it's just, this stuff is unbelievable. I can't even. He just continues to boggle my mind with this stuff, and I can't wait to see what the gameplay is like. Right? We're certainly looking forward to that and learning more about what this. He basically says, this is like a business model that's being built within a game for those that own the Dragon Prime to mint NFTs.
As Ivory said when he was on the Pinecast, that I can't do his voice. He's got such a good voice too, but he says something like, some have called it a type of arms dealer.
That's correct. That's correct.
So this NFT, this metal print, really that could also be redeemed for the metal print.
Right.
That you can hang on your wall.
Yeah.
This character basically is going to be able to make weapons and sell them. It's crazy. So
it is crazy.
This is going to be huge. Large Marge, as you say. But
yeah.
But he's not done. We still have more of these drops coming, like you said, every 15 days until the end of November or something, I believe.
Right. Yeah. And this next one, he's already given us a little taste of it, and it's incredible as well. I mean, when that one drops, we'll talk about that.
I can't wait. Hopefully I'll get number one.
Yeah. I mean, just so everyone that's not involved with this knows, you'll probably see some metal prints for sale on the market. If a metal print is purchased for a certain minimum price, which right now is $10,500 as of Friday, what's today, August
19th,
$10,500, that metal print, once purchased and then either redeemed or burned, will be eligible to receive a Dragon Prime. So, they're not, and once all the metal prints are burned, that's it. There's no more Dragons. The total max, if every single one does happen, is 37. It's an elite crowd that's going to be holding these things.
Whew. The minimum price is the current all-time high sale, which is 10,000 plus
5%. Yeah.
Plus 5%.
Right.
So all-time high plus 5.
Yes. So if anyone is interested in one of these, just reach out to me. The price is going to increase as somebody buys it for $10,500. The price is going to go up 5% the following Monday. So if you're that interested, before you go out and spend $10,500, you reach out to me and just let me make sure that is going to be enough to cover it, because there's an inflation rate on these things.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you heard Ivory on the Ultralight interview when asked what the most undervalued NFT in his collection was. Do you remember?
I did.
He had the metal print was listed for $20,000 at the time.
For the low, and he was totally serious. He said it should be 55,000 minimum right now.
Correct.
Right now, or as of the Ultralight interview.
Insane. And we both know Ivory enough by now to know that he's not blowing smoke either. The dude's incredible. But,
yeah, and he's not in his ivory tower. He's out there every day getting it done. And talking to the people. So.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big story right there. Big story.
Yep. But, as excited as I am for that, I just want to clear the air here. I am still super excited about Pines, man. And I still have no doubt where this thing is going. There's a lot of chatter out there about who's doing what and this and that. And you got the boo birds out there tweeting about, rugs and this and that. It's like, enough. Like, enough of this. If you think this is a rug pull, then you obviously have no idea what a rug pull is. You've never been rug pulled. This is a guy, we know who he is. He's got a history of quality work. We're not getting rugged here at all. I have no qualms in saying that this is not happening. But at the same time, the only thing that I can't defend on this is the level of communication. If somebody wants to argue with me about the level of communication, I can't, because I kind of agree. We need some communication, but in my opinion, that's the only thing. What's the difference between being out there working? We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on. If we're going to get to where we're going, why is it really hurting you that much to just wait a little bit? I guess I don't understand how people are getting so too uptight, I think, about it, and too revved up about it. I think we all deserve a little bit of communication, but I just want to make sure that I'm still feeling bullish about this thing. I don't know about you.
I am. I have the same. Like you said, you can't argue the communication thing. It's unsettling at times.
It's the only part of it for me. To
go so long, and I don't have any insider knowledge.
Nor do I.
I know. I know, but I would say that I think what's going to happen is, and not financial advice. Not this is just my opinion. I'm not speaking for you, but a bunch of stuff, how we're not getting information, a bunch of stuff could just be dropped all at once.
Absolutely, it could, for sure.
And that, once again, to steal your phrase, large marge.
It could certainly be large marge. I said it before, like I truly believe that, the flurry that we saw in symbiotes right before these redemption challenges started on Discord, I feel like we're going to see that again in Pines, and I'm almost sure of it. So it's just a matter of time. Like, so if you guys, if you're getting antsy about it, I get it. Trust me, everyone does. Like, if someone's saying they haven't, then either they just got involved or
they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Or they're not paying attention.
Or they're lying, most likely. But I think that everything is going to be fine. I'm really not too concerned. We know who he is. We're entrenched in Theta. I still expect this thing to be amazing. If anytime I get too disappointed or too upset, I just go check out his website. It's just like, oh yeah, wow. What's he got cooking? Just like, where are we going with this?
Right. We don't know.
We have no idea, but we are all anxious to get there.
That's
right or wrong.
100%.
All right, man. I don't know. You got anything else you wanted to cover for the people this week?
I just had one thing, and I'm gonna make it short because I feel bad for people listening to my voice this long at a stretch, and then
people love your voice. They love it.
We got that other segment. Well, Sushi Cat informed me how much better your voice is than mine. Anyways,
Sushi Cat's a fan of mine. That's true. My voice, anyway.
So there is I was dabbling around YouTube for a while. I haven't done that in a bit, but there is this channel called Crypto Elite, and it said I think there's like some jazz about like the #1 Theta, I don't know, like news site or something like that. But anyway, so he was presenting this thing that apparently Binance is doing where you could earn 30% APR on Theta. And it's not like a staking pool. You stake it on the platform, whatever. But then the more he goes into it, you can only do 50 coins for the 29 point whatever percent. And then like 20 something percent for 3,000 coins. Basically, the more percentage, the lower you could put in for it. And there's a short amount of time. But then he finishes it with, and I know this is not a shock for everyone. I know we have a lot of international listeners out there. But he finishes this where it's not on Binance US. It's on like an international. So one, we don't even, me and you, we don't have access to Binance in our state anyway.
Right. Not anymore. Yeah.
And so, but nobody in the U.S. would. And you know, it's true. I am American, so the world does revolve around me, and so it just seems weird to do an 8-minute video to. I'm gonna guess the majority of people, or a good amount of people that are American, to like end the video with, "Oh yeah, and it's not available in the U.S."
Yeah,
So
lead with that.
Right. So I won't watch it because I wasn't
Right.
gonna watch it anyway. The thing popped up, and I go, "This is interesting." And he wasn't sold on it anyway, but he was just presenting what was going on. But that's like one of those. That's one of those rug pulls for clicks, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He may get.
Clickbait. Yeah.
I mean, when I checked, he might have had over 1,500. I mean, big deal. I mean, we had like 56 downloads the past couple weeks, so watch out.
Yeah, exactly.
But
We're
that's
coming
why
after
we're
you.
a number 56 ranked Pinecast out there. So yeah, I
We're
guess that's all
deeply
I got.
entrenched there at 56. So we've been, we're not giving up any ground to the newcomers.
Yeah, and I'm not looking to start a fight. I just thought it was funny. I don't know how many times you get disappointed watching something, but if he'd led with that, I would.
Yeah, exactly. Lead with it. Don't be wasting my time.
Right, or have other content to talk about then, and get to that part first. And so if you had other content afterwards, lead with that. And then if people still want to get to the other content, that's fine. But that just, oh man, I can't get that 8 minutes and 27 seconds or whatever it was back. So shout out to Crypto Elite.
Yes, thanks for the waste of time, Crypto Elite.
I waste my time. Fine, I don't need any help from you. Thank you.
That's exactly the case. All right, Mags. Well, awesome time again. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We actually, I know we teased about Pine Games guy, the guy doing all the work, Mack Tastic, being on with us this week. But I just heard that we got clearance that URP is actually going to be our guest this week. So after these messages, we're going to have a nice chat with URP.
No, Sheriff, my bad again. So yes, PNN did give us the go ahead to air it.
Oh boy.
And I really wanted to get to URP because the dude's entertaining as fuck. But, we're talking about this new Pine Games thing coming on. So this was a bump situation. So this was not legal. I mean, it's legal, but I'm saying this wasn't due to any legal situation going on with PNN. This just had to do with immediate information because we want to get this information out quickly.
Gotcha. So URP is officially being bumped again.
I'm pretty confident that we should get to him next week. And have I ever lied?
Not in the last 3 minutes, maybe.
So that's what we're gonna do.
All right. Well, URP, we'll see you next week. Coming up next, we got Mack Tastic.
After these messages.
This week's episode is brought to you by Rewarded.tv. What other place can you go to earn crypto as you watch and stream TV?
Wait, you can earn crypto?
You can earn crypto. It's called the RPlay token, my man.
RPlay. Didn't we have guests on previously that talked about this?
We did. Christian Dan, our boys from Imagine Replay.
Oh, cool. So they're finally out.
They're finally out. The official token drop happened, and you make an account on Rewarded.tv, link it to your email address, start watching and earning. It's as easy as that.
Oh, that sounds great. Can I get off this call with you now and start earning?
You can do that right now at Rewarded.tv.
This week's episode is brought to you by ThetaCon 2022. What's better than spending a winter weekend in Florida? How about spending a winter weekend in Florida with a bunch of awesome people from the Theta community? December 2nd to the 4th at La Meridian in Fort Lauderdale. Tickets on sale now. The link for tickets and a lot more information can be found at thetacon.org. And honestly, $999 for the all-inclusive ticket is quite a deal. Comes with 2-night stay, a conference ticket, and $250 for on-premise food and drinks. I hope to see you there, and as Mags always says, that's from the both of us.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight, a last-minute addition, so gracious. You may know him from the former Pineapple Rarity website. He is a SSS mod on Secret Pineapple Discord. You may know him as Mackastick, but if that's the case, I'd say you don't know Jackastick. If I tell you that our guest goes by the name Matchstick, then I'd say you're a dumb. I won't say that part. But if you haven't gathered yet, ladies and gentlemen, tonight our guest is Mack Tastic. Mack, how's it going? Welcome to the Pinecast.
Wow, that was awesome, Magnum. Thank you.
Oh, of course. I want to let you get into it real quick, and I don't like to jump the guest in the beginning, but I just have to say something. It's news doesn't hit you till it happens like at you. So I didn't get much sleep last night, and it was police all over my street. I saw the news today, and it looks like this little old lady up the street, she got mutilated late last night. It looks like Werewolves of London again. So tough crowd.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
Yeah. Okay, well that one bombed. No big deal.
Hold on, my mute button was broken. No, I don't get it. What?
It's okay. It's okay. No one else does either. But on a more, I guess, relevant topic, I guess, I've been watching, and this is no lie, I've been watching a lot of these ancient Greek history documentaries, like about the gods and stuff like that. You ever see anything like that or remember that from school?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
It's interesting. It's like I can't believe all this stuff I forgot. I think the past week, because I don't read, I've been watching the Odyssey, and I guess I never remembered the Odyssey. It was super cool.
Seen it. I thought you meant read it.
Well, you could read it, you could listen to it on an audiobook and say you read it, or you could just like watch like these mini documentaries that I've been watching that breaks it up for me, because I can just lay down and do nothing and do it. So I was thinking, so I'm watching this thing, and there's this one part, he goes to this island. Some of his men had this lotus fruit. It made him like forget about the Trojan War. So I was thinking, they talk a lot about sex in these too. It's very risque in today's standards. So anyways, to make long story longer, I was, I don't know, it was popcorn or something, and I got indigestion and like heartburn. So then I was like wondering, I go, well, people must have had indigestion and heartburn back in the day. And so then I went online and I was trying to figure out if there was any remedies for it. And do you know that the remedies that they took for indigestion and heartburn aren't very different from what we take today?
What is that? Chalk? Is that right? Calcium carbonate? Is that it?
No. So back then they used to take Imodium BC.
Oh boy.
All right.
Where's this going?
Yeah, I think we got there.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Hopper, take it away.
Oh man, how am I supposed to follow that up? All right. Well, hey, thank you, Mack Tastic, for joining us. I remember we had Ketchneny on here, and he totally started the name botching for you. And I think that was followed up also by another guest. I can't remember which one it was, but it is nice to have the Mack Tastic on here. So Mack, I think I'm just going to start you off where we normally start this off, and just, what's your crypto journey like, and how did you get into Theta?
Wow. Crypto started for me in 2016. I remember this. I think it was technically a lease on a Bitcoin miner. It wasn't even a Bitcoin miner, but it was one of the operations that ended up, I think they're still around. And that got me hooked. Just curious enough to dip a toe. And that seemed like the least committed way to try out crypto. And that machine ran for a while, and I didn't really think much about it until 2017. I went to some kind of a local tech thing, startups and others seeking funding. And one of the groups was a blockchain group. And it reminded me of that. And I went and checked on it, and it had done really well. And that was the beginning of the crypto rabbit hole for me.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I never really got into the mining side of Bitcoin or Litecoin. Mags actually got me into it. He tried to get me to take a Bitcoin from him at $600. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of that.
I heard that
might have been brought up once or twice.
I can't remember where I heard it. Yeah, I did hear that.
He wasn't able to give it away to me, but he did get me to buy into Litecoin. It was like early 17. So that was probably cool.
I have a story. Like I'm new to, a friend of mine who is like Magnum in this case. So I missed his first attempt, and the miner was my compromise on. But then, I went more fully. But if I listened to him, like had you
Yeah.
listened to Magnum, yeah, I've done better.
Yeah, always listen to Magnum. There's a lesson there. What opened your eyes to Theta in particular?
Theta was early 2019, maybe spring. It was the initial, I think it was the initial T Fuel distribution, an airdrop for Theta holders. And I had a friend who, in the crypto space, I thought of as, I still do, maybe the best researcher I know. And he was very interested in Theta in general. So when he mentioned, hey, now's the time, you can research it later, get the airdrop, that was the beginning for me. Yeah, that was like mid 2019.
Very cool. I mean, you have a definitely a unique set of skills compared to most people. I feel like you've been pretty busy at work here over the last week in the Discord, slicing and dicing and making things new again there. Is that skills that you learned on your own? Is that business skills that you had that you applied to crypto? How did that end up working out for you?
I would say it's partly my work background. I have my formal education is in computer science, but if you hear me talk about my career, I sound like, I don't know, some kind of Forrest Gump B-roll. I've worked in a lot of industries with that sort of programming and data engineering background. And one of those areas was marketing. And so working with things like Discord servers and things like that is pretty familiar from those days. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you got into Pines right at the beginning
Yeah.
of I mean, what drew you to that? Like, do you remember like when you had your eyes open to pineapples?
Yeah, it was an email from Theta Drop because I had participated in the World Poker Tour drops earlier in the year that had the art in it. And the art is what got me first because I had started to dip my toe in NFTs in Ethereum, and the pineapples weren't like anything I had seen. And so I just signed up immediately, and I did get lucky and get in the initial 888 drop, and that was that. I was hooked from there.
When did you officially get the SS mod title? Was that right away?
No, I did not apply to be an SSS because at the time Pineapple Rarity was pretty new and there were a lot of questions about who was the guy who made the site, and it seemed like a conflict of interest if I was also a moderator, that they were someone who had genuine questions about this third-party utility. It seemed strange if I was also then in that position. So I didn't apply. I talked to a couple of the guys who were SSS immediately about that. And it wasn't until I think it was January when I started to help the Secret Pineapple Society with the Discord integration. The Discord Data Pass integration was when they added SSS to my name.
Very cool.
The Pineapple Rarity, for people that don't know, was the first rarity site for pineapples. I don't remember rarity sites for the Theta NFTs, but I would have missed them anyway because I was just
There wasn't any
excited.
other ones.
Okay.
Yeah, those first couple weeks after the drop, I don't think Theta Drop itself even had attribute display
That's
available.
absolutely correct.
And that's after the main drop.
Right. So
Yeah.
it was early. And I only knew about those kinds of tools because I had dipped that toe in Ethereum and wondered about my own NFTs as a collector. But yeah, nothing was out yet, I don't think.
Like we've talked before about that, where even the customs, you only knew it was a custom because it looked like a custom. It looked different.
We did the trick with the market where we listed it to see where it showed up in the filters.
Yeah, you list it
Yes.
for $1 million, and then you figure out exactly what you got.
Which I absolutely did, because the day of the initial drop, it was a Friday, like most of the major data drops are. And I remember I got the skull, it's like a neon green skull on kind of a pink red background. Some people may know it as the first Pineapple Sales Twitter bot. It was my Discord avatar for a long time.
Yes.
And I had seen the art from the container, which has a skull in it. And so I didn't even understand that a skull was necessarily rare. I thought it looked cool, but only after we started to dig into it did we figure out how rare some of those things were. And that just started this, like, I remember week or two adventure in data, everybody trying to figure out what the collection looked like.
I remember that bot. I loved it. That must be, it's kind of like, is that offline now? Because I haven't noticed that thing in a while.
It is. It's tied to the Pineapple Rarity site, and when I took that down, the bot went with it. I haven't looked into it too. There is another bot or two out there. If we need that void, if there is a void, we can bring it back online. But yeah.
So it was the new bot that it used to just do the open theta NFTs, and I remember that one got super freaking annoying with the T-bill stickers because people were buying like 1 million of them. So I had to mute that son of a gun for a while. It was super annoying. You know, there was just so freaking many of them. And when Popper, I don't know if you remember, I used to joke with you because it seemed like James, the rare robot, always retweeted the sale bot. And I was joking just so I thought it was just so he could go back and track what was sold.
Keeping tabs.
Right.
Modern problems require modern solutions, right? If you need Twitter accounting, there you go.
Yeah, why can't he be excited about a sale and also use it as an accounting system, I guess?
QuickBooks, there's something there for you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So with your rarity site, like, would you just decided to take it upon yourself to start this thing up and get it going?
Yeah, there were a few of us. It was the weekend after... it was the weekend of the main drop. A few of us were just talking about how you would do it in the Pineapple Discord. And I just started working on it until we had something that was, the very first version was very crude. I think it just showed the attributes. It didn't have pictures. It didn't have any look at the distribution of traits or the collection itself, but it was something. I think that was the Monday after the Friday of the main drop.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Popper, I remember you. It was early on when you sent me the link to that because I had that thing bookmarked. I've mentioned before too. I had a coworker, and the new site is pretty good that they have the data drop rarity.
Yep.
I think I've brought up before, but anyways, one of my coworkers, he just loved those low-hanging fruit that was on there. So basically, right,
it was taking the list of pineapples for sale on the market, like right now, when you're looking at the list, and then the list of pineapples and their rarity and combining them. So what you were actually looking at was supposed to be the combination of best price for rarity on the market right now.
Yeah, I was on there all the time, and then even it was almost like right before you shut it down. I remember somebody asking like, "Hey, can you extend it from like 10 to 20 or something like that?" And you did that, no problem. You're like, "Yeah, absolutely." So that was, that got us where we are today, I guess. And that site was awesome.
Cool. I'm glad. We said from the beginning, and I say we by me and a few people in the Discord. I think even a couple of the mods said this when I first posted a link. It's unofficial and it's just meant to get us by till something better comes along. And it lived a little longer
I
than
believe
that.
It said, "Do not make financial decisions based on what you're seeing on here." So kind of like to CYA on that one.
It was, that's a great experience. People got something out of it. It bridged a gap until there's something better now here that everybody can benefit from. Collections at sort of an economy of scale. I'd feel good about it.
Okay, now that just made me think of another question because the new site looks cool and there's a lot of cool features and it has a lot of the open theta and data drop NFTs. But I'm interested. What is it? So just so people know, so like a custom or a special like an SSS or altered, we'll just call them customs. So back on your site, and this is how I think it would work in the regular world. It would be 101. But let's say there was 150 of them. Okay.
Sure.
Well, the next one wouldn't be 2, like now Popper's Pine Goo showing. It would be 151. It's like the new site is almost making it enticing because it's saying, hey, they all count the same. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. My approach to that, I think I remember seeing in Discord, I don't remember which Discord, a couple of people asking if it could be the way it is currently. So I know that those guys, to some degree, over data drop rarity, have balanced community interest in one or the other. But for pineapple rarity, I was trying to follow the conventions that people were most used to. So if I watch like a golf tournament and people are tied in fourth, the three people tied for fourth are fourth, but then, the next person is seventh. So
Right.
I was going off of that model that I thought might be more familiar.
Makes sense. It's just another way to present it. But when that site came up and then your site started going down, when you'd run your stuff, be like, oh, shit, my stuff's even rarer than I thought, which might have helped psychologically. I found that was like the biggest eye opener when it was like some of my pines jumped like over 100 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we know, since we did the custom rankings, we know there are 127 that you would call non-generative at the moment. I think that's the right number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I looked at it the other way, Mags. When I first went onto that site, fun fact, the first pineapple that I ever opened from a can is the second least rarest pineapple in existence, according to pineapple rarity site, Mack site.
Yep.
So I was curious when the new site came out, was my pineapple still going to be like as plain as possible? And I put in the pineapple number and I looked it up and I was like, whoa. There's like 100 and some pineapples that are less rare than this one. What happened? I was a little disappointed, but it's because
all the ones that are tied are added to the total of the
they're still in the total. So like the least rare is like, I forget what the numbers are. It would be like 8,600 out of 8888 could be the least rare if there was 200 and whatever tied at one. So I was a little disappointed at first. I was like, oh man, like my plain dude just like went up in rank, like to the point where it's not that cool anymore. At least like having the second least rare pineapple as my first opening is kind of a cool story.
But right now you have the second most rare pineapple and the second least rare pineapple.
And two at one. Maybe.
Now we did add, maybe this is something they can add easily. We added a non-generative rank. So we just ignored the top 127 and came up with, I'm saying 127 because we're using pineapples as an example, but this should work for other collections as well that would have this same issue. Just remove it from the denominator as well is basically what I think you guys are getting at. And that's what we called our generative rank.
So now can you tell me what the arc type, or is that what, am I saying that right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
What is that? How is that generated?
So a couple of weekends after pineapple rarity was stable, a few of us in the Discord started talking about how it seemed like skulls and pine goos or pinnagoos. I don't know where you guys stand on that.
We go pine goo.
Pine goo. Okay. I feel like pinnagoo has an elegance to it.
Pinnagoo sounds cool too.
I feel like I could order that in Chef Pine's restaurant. I'll have to pinnagoo. We were talking about how pinnagoos and skulls really seem underrepresented in what were the initial, what's called statistical rarity, the very baseline formula that pineapple rarity was using, but I think data drop rarity mostly uses as well. And so we said, well, how would you acknowledge that the community really likes skulls and pinnagoos or pine goos, but they're missing a few opportunities for uniqueness.
Attributes. Yeah.
Yes. They skulls don't have eyewear, things like that. And so archetype was the word I came up with to represent an attempt at addressing this problem. We know people like these they value them more than their rarity would suggest. And the reason their rarity looks the way it does is because they just don't have the opportunity. So to compensate for that, I used recent market data, like what was the average skull selling for versus the average, what you'd call a normal pine.
Sure.
So say that was 2x. Okay. Then whatever that score is, before you rank things, before you rank the pines, the result of a ranking process is what we're used to, first, second, third. But before you get there, you give the candidates a score. They have a raw score behind the scenes. So whatever that raw score was in the archetype ranking, you'd take that market multiplier, in my example, I think it was 2x, and you'd apply it and you'd say that skull is going to get twice as many points.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was really only affecting skulls and pine goos because they were the only ones that were missing the full chance at all of the traits, but that was why they shot up the rankings.
Not having those attributes that everyone has also, right, makes it rarer, correct?
Ooh.
Right.
That's how I thought I saw that. Because you know how you look at, there's like a gazillion props and then there's none, and the one with none is a lot, but they would the skulls wouldn't even, they would be like a none for that. So
yes, you're right. The lack of a trait is itself a distinction. Yes. But what the issue that the archetype ranking was meant to address was not all attributes are weighted equally by the community when they go look at the market. So I might be twice as interested in this pineapple being a skull as I am what kind of prop he has. That was what it was meant to address. In the normal statistical rarity calculations, every attribute is worth the same amount of points, which is the right way to start.
You said there wasn't a big change. Have you observed, since you let pineapple rarity sunset and now there's the theta drop rarity, have you noticed any, I don't know if you went back, and rankings go up and down anyway, but have you went back and looked and said, oh, this is drastically different, or you think maybe they did something similar?
Oh no, I think they use very similar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same math. There was even a night where VMux, who is the lead on data drop rarity, at least that's how I know him. We even independently used our code to calculate a score for, I think it was a Tygon. I think we were proofing the rarity calculator for a new collection, and we both came up with ultimately the same number. So yeah, I think they are using the same math. And from my perspective as like a developer and somebody who's worked in data quite a while, that's smart. That is what's most commonly used. And there are some platforms out there on other networks that offer more exotic ways to rank NFTs, but what they're doing now and what Pineapple Rarity was doing is strictly rarity. There's no attempt to introduce a concept of, value like the archetype ranking did, which that was part of the reason for the need to give it a name. Was it's technically not rarity. Once you start introducing those multipliers and weights and things like that, you're ranking something else, which may still be of interest or maybe more interest, but it's not technically rarity.
Both of you guys I have the pine goo with the blue spirals, and you both sites had that as the most rare pine goo and the most rare non-custom pineapple. So you're doing something right, both of you.
I believe it. That from a math perspective, that's got to make you feel good, right, Sheriff? You're a numbers guy.
Yeah, I love numbers for sure. I mean, I wish I had the talents and the skills that you had to decipher them, because I do enjoy like what I do with them, but it seems like there's so much more that I could be doing that I'm like scratching the surface on what I could do, and it drives me nuts a little bit to not have that capability. But I look up to what you're doing for sure, some of the stuff that you're going through and teasing us with, and it's like, man, if I had just gone a little bit of a different route here, that could be me.
You asked earlier, is this work related to my past work? And I didn't realize at the time you had given me a perfect opportunity to mention that this kind of number stuff, this stat stuff, I used to do it in sports, in professional sports.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I commented earlier on kind of the web background, and those skills help you get at the data and manipulate it in the ways that you need to for the web versus, like you would for using it in an office. But yeah, the ranking stuff comes from a baseball background.
Very cool. Yeah. Big baseball background as well, but not into whatever you got into. But it seems like, when we do get into the Grove, I think we need some kind of sporting events, because we got the stats guy, we got the announcers, and we got plenty of alpha types out there ready to just show who's boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of numbers, I actually brought some new ones for you. I brought you a present.
Yeah.
I just messaged you. Yeah, I just messaged you a link. This seemed like the perfect opportunity. No one has seen these. You mentioned on your last show that the survey for custom pineapples was going to get an update on its data. I think Magnum referred to it as the Mo report.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Here's your Mo report. And I have to be honest with you, like before we talk about this, before you find yourselves in this list, I'm going to put this out there, how real this is. I will turn screen share on. I will go to the survey site and re-download the data. You can watch me put it into the application. It will come out the same way. This is it.
I have no reason not to trust you.
Popper, I'm looking at it. I'm ahead of you, but we're the same rank.
It's the same.
It's the same score.
It's the same score.
I think the smile just put me ahead of you. We're the same score as Acid.
Yeah.
So we're 3.73 out of 5.
It is so much the same. You are now tied with another pine for 27.
So we're going down.
Not much. It was just one. Conspicuously Baller's OG King rose quite a bit in a very small amount of time. So
That's
we may need
interesting.
we may need to get the crack staff on that. But yes, you two and Magnum, I don't want you to read too much into this. I think this is alphabetical is how the tie is broken at the moment. I'd have to check the code, but you are
That would
tied.
make sense.
You are tied.
Yeah. So also too, maybe not how this started up, but I remember there was some dialogue back and forth on Discord. I was put in the fact that the pine that I acquired from the Pine Games has double attribute, 2 props and 2 accessories.
I'm glad you brought this up.
A lot of people don't know that. Also, too, conspicuously not on this list because it's not a custom. There's been, I don't know, Mac, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the boards lately. There is a fierce debate raging about this green skull.
Ah, yes, the skull.
Floater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on this thing? And then before you get into that, I think I've mentioned a long time ago on the Pinecast, there used to be a green faux haw hair because it was spelled wrong. So there was 2 of them, and they always showed up super rare. So I know one of them was some kind of platinum. He was a platinum face, and he had a theta. I don't know if it was a holder or a staker. I can't keep them straight in my head, but he was like super high, and they changed the data to reflect that it was a faux hawk because that's exactly what it was.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that changed, and it plummeted to like, I don't know. It's in the 90s or 100s now or something like that.
So just to make sure we're talking about the same pineapple, it's the skull with the T fuel that normally it's on the pineapple's right, like looking at it.
I would say other than that case, it is always on the pineapple's right. Correct?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's he's wearing it on his head like a tiara. Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Well, what are your possible options for how to resolve that?
Obviously, I don't know who owns this thing. Shout out.
Somebody
what I'm asking
But
is,
if I did own it, hypocritically speaking, I would say that clearly, visually, it is different.
Yes, absolutely.
And even though the data, or if you're in England or something, the data doesn't reflect that, it's there. So it may be ranked 420 on Theta Drop Rarity, but right. I think it's something more special than that's showing. But clearly, if it was posted for sale, whoever owns this thing, then they set the price for it, and people are going to see like, holy crap, this skull has a T-fuel floater on its head, like you said, wearing it like a cap. So that's my take, if I could put myself in the sandals of the owner.
And does Popper disagree, or do you want to hear what I think?
Before you get into that, I'm just curious, Mags. You started this off with a comment that you have. It's the lieutenant, right? The OG lieutenant with 2 props and 2 accessories.
Right.
Is that official? That's an official statement. He's got 2 props, 2 accessories.
Accessories, yeah.
2 and 2?
Yeah, 2 and 2.
Okay, it's funny because the metadata doesn't say that.
Well, it's there, like guest is saying.
Oh, well, I mean, earlier, I think I heard one of you guys say you can't go by what it looks like. You have to go by the attributes. So in this case, that would mean it's just a regular T-fuel skull, right? Not that there's anything regular about that. That's a very rare.
It seems irregular.
But I mean, the T-fuel is floating. It's not an inaccurate description.
No, it's not. You're right.
The theta, but if you looked at the theta holder and the theta staker, one's on the left, one's on the right, it looks like that's floated in someone's hand.
No, completely different. No, sorry.
My first instinct is we have 1 or 2 pineapples that are what we call misfits, where the attributes don't match the image. This, though, would be different because in those, the 2 cases I'm thinking of,
they're all off. All the attributes don't match what it says it is.
They're all off, and they're all attributes that do exist. They're just not correctly labeled. In this case, we're talking about an attribute that either exists, the T-fuel, the floating T-fuel, the normal T-fuel, and it's in the wrong place, or it's an attribute that we don't know about. For example, are we sure it's wearing it? Was it, I don't know what a floating T-fuel means. Did another pineapple cast it at them? Is it the result of combat, or is it just a simple image that was meant to look like the others? I don't know.
Well, since it's the only one that has it so far, we were talking to Ketch. I think we were talking about the only thing with the floating T-fuel, there is no other skull, so So what I said to him is, I would assume that if this is what it says it is, if another skull has the T-fuel attribute, that it's going to be in the hair again. I don't know that.
I see what you mean.
Like
I do.
he said, for whoever owns it, I would hope that it doesn't for their sake, because it is.
Of course, you wouldn't want that.
Right, for the person who owns it.
Regardless of how you categorize it in the pineapple taxidermy, it's a one of one. I mean, I don't know of another like it, unless there's one yet to be minted that shows that same visual quirk. But yeah, that's extremely rare.
Right. I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna say Circle gets the square, Sheriff. So
moving on. Well, I was listening to last week's episode and I decided to agree with you last week. So I had to give you some grief about it on Discord, because it's just, honestly, guys, it's just not fun to agree with Magnum. It just isn't. And I don't mind being wrong, but Magnum just can't be right if I'm wrong. That's the only qualm I have here. So I don't know. Obviously, the floating thing in the hair, it's unique. We can all see it's unique. Moving on.
So yeah, Pops. Let's move from Rarity. Maybe let's go to Discord or something, or Pine Games. What do you say?
Yeah. Let's go to Pine Games. Was that Pine? Were you a part of that Pine Game bot when it came out on Discord back in the day?
No, the dev team tested that. I later found out they tested that and were kind of getting it right while they were waiting on, I was finishing up the Discord data pass integration. So those efforts were kind of in parallel. And then when the integration was ready, we were able to do Pine Games. So they pulled the trigger on that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That 2 weeks.
It was.
I preferred the first week just because it was within my realm of being awake, and I was able to, watch and just hold my breath until I saw my name and hope it was on the left side of the board and not the right side of the board, because normally the end of the sentence was the person that got killed. There was a couple of instances where it was actually on the left as well, but yeah, that was a ton of fun. And I don't know if we want to kind of discuss a little bit what's been brought up today.
I do. I'd love to.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like this is some version of this we want to kind of revive for the community. Can you just give us an idea of what this looks like from your point of view?
Yeah, we have been making a lot of improvements around the Pineapple Discord. We want to encourage people to take a look around, and we know people had a lot of fun with the Pine Games this spring. And truth be told, some of us are still in there playing against each other or the bot just for fun. So a couple of us were saying, let's just do it again. We've got all the tools we need, and if people are interested, let's just see if the community wants to make it something we do for fun.
So it's that same exact bot. It's still in there, and anyone can go in there currently and just start a game up, and whoever wants to join can join.
Yes. So sorry, there's 2 channels. One is for people having fun. The other is, that's been dormant since the spring. We would, turn back on just for this underground edition of Pine Games. Yeah, we just thought it'd be a fun thing to do.
I mean, I guess, the idea is, guys, we want to try to rev up the crowd again, right? And is it going to be the same kind of game, exactly the same as it was before?
Yeah, exactly the same game. Pine owners, if you have a Pine and you have verified that you do through our Discord data pass integration, all you have to do is click on an emoji in the right channel at the right time, and you're entered to win.
Now, do we have an official date set up for this, that we're going to kick this off? Are we still kind of kicking that around? We want to give people a little bit of notice to get them riled up?
Yeah, I think we're going to do maybe a smaller one. Good feedback on Twitter today, and a few people messaged me, not just to say that they would love to do it, but they would love to offer prizes if we did it. The community seems ready to play a game or two.
If we had a time, when you were thinking of doing this?
Oh, so yeah, we'll do a small one that we'll announce pretty soon here, maybe in the next few days, and get maybe some bugs ironed out and give people a little more time to prepare for maybe a bigger one.
So, Sheriff, Serious question. This information, putting out, because we have that, we're supposed to air that lost URP episode.
I think it gets lost for another week.
I think so too. We have been given clearance from PNN to air it, but I think we got some fresh information here. And on a side note, I wrote down a joke and I don't know why, but it says, "Now please don't take what I'm saying for pomegranate." But that has nothing to do with anything. I'm just finding these old jokes from a few weeks ago that I haven't gone through yet. It's stupid. But I say, yeah, I think we take an executive action and we push the lost episode back again.
Yeah.
I'd love for not just you guys to participate, but if we could talk about the event, if you guys could cover it in some way, that would be ideal, because I'd love for people to hear how some people have joined the community more recently than Pine Games. I know you guys were there and you remember. It was fun, and people still talk about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now, just out of curiosity, is there a way to kind of slow it down a little bit? It was such a kind of a quick thing where just like all of a sudden, bam, like here's a blast of information. 9 people got killed trying to figure out if you're one of them. And then as soon as you're done with that, it's like, bang, down to the next. So the only ones that you're seeing, it's like, oh, there's Magnum. Oh, you got stabbed by cucumbers, But if it's like you don't recognize any of the names, or they're not names that stick out to you, you're not even really paying attention too closely as to like who's killing who, like how many, if somebody's like on a hot streak, you know what I mean? It's like, I'd like to go back and see like, okay, for one, Mags, why don't you take this away and tell us the story of how Sugar Baby won?
So I've mentioned this before in Mac. I don't know if you recall this. Sugar Baby, I think, died twice in the same match and got resurrected twice. And the second time she got resurrected, there was 2 people left in the game.
And she wasn't one of them.
She wasn't one of them. One killed the other person, and then all of a sudden Sugar Baby got resurrected that same round. So there was another round, and then Sugar Baby killed the guy who technically was unopposed for at least a second. I thought that was hysterical.
Other than the fact that Sugar Baby won, yeah.
And then complained after she won that Maxipine.
Yeah.
I think Sugar Baby gets a bad rap.
I think she brought it on herself. He or she brought it upon themselves. But yeah. I just found that to be, sickening that's how it works. I mean, imagine being the last one standing and then all of a sudden somebody's revived. It's like, wait,
that part does seem like, how do you ever really know you won?
Right.
They can always,
only until you're only until you're enrolled at the end.
Yeah. So I'm definitely glad to see this come back.
Yeah,
Hopper
it was a
right.
ton of fun. Go ahead.
It would be difficult to cover it live, but I think you guys could do well with the transcript. It is all there for everybody. Like you said, you can go back and see who was resurrected when, and it could be a good taped event.
And you could actually, being numbers guys, you could actually go back and start getting statistics for people and having like little win-losses within this whole thing and seeing like what kind of a batting average they have.
We could have rewards for who gets the closest but doesn't make it, top average finish. We could do all sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, if we're planning on doing a number of these, then yeah, you could, have a season-long most kills, best percentage, least dies. I guess
least resurrections. Least
dies would probably mean like whoever won the most, because everyone's going to die at least once.
Part of it is for fun, and part of it is feedback on what the community likes. Seeing we've got a few games going in Discord now, and we're trying out a couple of others, but seeing what people do like and how that might translate to other efforts going on.
I will say too, the Pine Games, say what you will about Pineapple Discord, and it's come a long way, and it's getting better, because me and Popper used to not be excited at all about it. And you've made these new rooms, there's like a new energy in there, and it's getting contagious. The thing is, I remember from the Pine Games was that I like a lot of people that won, they had one pine, they never say anything. So the Pine Games brought a lot of these pineapple owners in just to play a game, because it doesn't, you're just clicking a box saying you're playing. It brought a lot of excitement to the game. And then after somebody wins, I think for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, we're all congratulating the winner. It was a blast. No doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely. Ideally and selfishly for me, like something like this where it would mix with like the Pine Madness kind of setup. If there was some kind of way to set this up where these are all one-on-one matches that are done in like a bracket style environment, done in pieces too, where it's like, oh yeah, all right, I won round one, like, round two is on Wednesday, against whoever it is, and you just go down the bracket. That would be amazing for me, like that.
Okay.
On a purely selfish note, for content purposes, for just enjoyment purposes, unless of course you get knocked out in the first round like I was.
You could always get resurrected.
You
right?
can no, I mean
not in this
not
format.
at that point, right? Yeah.
That is a way to do it, but I will say this, like, what they do in wrestling, like a Royal Rumble where everyone shows up, right?
Yeah, Royal Rumble. Yeah.
That's like
one at
what
a time.
it is.
But it's like one at a time they enter. Yeah.
I like where Popper is going. I would also like to see it include some understanding of entrance attributes. So the NFTs you're bringing to the table, how does that impact your chance of survival? So I think there's probably something we could do with the tournament concept even now. We should talk about that. We should try it. Maybe something like college football, play it out, but the top 8 have something else they advance on to, or we rerun the game. Yeah, this is the
exactly.
point.
Yeah,
Hearing from you that,
yeah, you could run it 8 times, have 8 different winners, and then do some kind of bracket, like 8-person bracket for the championship.
Yeah, and that to me is fun to try out with the community, and then anything in there that we find, like the structure you're talking about, that works, we can keep doing. And if it doesn't, we have just enough at our disposal to hack things together to maybe make our community's version of something like that, or something else that we try that people might like more, that we can integrate more deeply with the collection and the artwork.
Yeah, and when we had Catch on, he brought up the question of what we thought the Grove might look like, kind of thing. And to be honest, like, this is something where I think that it would drive some real excitement if there was a way to have some kind of one-on-one battling in some sort, whether it's VR, like boxing, or just something where there is like a level of skill that would be involved through an integrated gameplay. That would be amazing to just being like, all right, baller, let's go, me and you or call whoever out.
I would love that, and I would love it if even when you challenged baller, you had to pick the pineapple that you were going to fight with. That's where my head goes. And seriously, in the background, I'm always running experiments. Like, you might have seen me post on Twitter, some people might be familiar with Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. I put pineapple stats into a couple of models in that game, and I told it to have them fight. And so yeah, my head is in the same place yours is, that there's something about competing with the NFTs that is there.
Yeah, and competing within the community as well.
Yes,
it's like,
right.
It's a fun thing. And I did actually notice that battle simulator only because it was very accurate in its rendering of the fight between me and Magnum.
Yes, Magnum, I'm sorry you took the loss.
It happens occasionally. It doesn't happen when it matters. So
you're tied in the custom rankings now, so that's good.
Yeah, well, like I said, he is a perfectionist, this Mack over here, and I mentioned that the margin of error wasn't reflected. So I think now it's now we have the correct thing. So
I'm still waiting to hear from Mo.
Yeah, Mo says it's a tie.
Mo says it's a tie right there.
Ouch.
Then, so I think the tiebreaker, I believe, is best smile. So looking good there.
I'll have to sub out for one of my other pines then.
You could, or going back to what you're saying, challenge people. You could do like Pokemon, where you pick 3 pineapples and they can battle out, and then I choose, I don't know, Squirtle or Squirtle pineapple or something, whatever kind of pineapple you have to go against. But I think I would just crush Baller, though. I love him to death, but I don't think he's beating me.
Shots fired.
I don't think anyone's beating Mags, right? I mean, you're so humble.
That's true.
Thank you. It's well documented, but we should keep on documenting it just in case.
And what hasn't been documented in a while is your need for a guardian zombie.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that really since last episode.
So what is your feeling on the zombie with the archetype? Were they just counted as skulls? Or were they weighted separately?
Yes, behind the scenes they have. I should check myself on this, but I believe they have a skull value. So they count
They
it as
do
a
have a
very
skull
rare.
value, yes.
So they count
They're
it as
the
a very
rarest
rare
skull.
skull. Yes.
Okay, interesting.
I thought you guys were going to be enjoyable from a meme perspective, but I've actually learned things about even my own collection. Like you mentioned Twitch Pixel. I didn't know, was it Jeff? Was that his name?
Yep.
He worked for a show I love. He worked for Harmon Quest. So like now I'm like treasuring my
NFT?
I have one. I was lucky enough. Yeah, I got one in the drop.
Nice.
But I might have sold it without you.
Perfect. We saved. Did you open it up?
I did.
One, what did you get? And two, what's your favorite character of the four?
I got the corn guy, the sound of the llama. I would gravitate to that. That sounds pretty great to me. But I had no idea that they were, exploring different content distribution models or business models. And it was really informative, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah, honestly, that was like ideal for what we thought we could do with this, because neither of us really knew anything about it. Orange Pine Good mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, definitely, come on. They were willing right away. So it worked out great, because honestly, you get into these NFTs, like I've been into it since the first data Zilla drop back, it was like June of last year. And for a while it was just like, okay, what's next? Like, what's next? I'm buying whatever's next. And then all of a sudden, like, there was certainly a brick wall that got hit with everything that was coming out, trying to keep like up to date on everything. And it just got to the point of like just being completely overwhelmed. It's like the end of Thanksgiving dinner. Like, I can't eat another bite. I don't have time to like look in to see what's going on. To have them come on and be able to give us this information without having to go and sign up for another Discord and do a bunch of reading and asking questions. I thought it was awesome of them to do that. And I think that there's probably quite a few other people, yourself included, that were able to learn something about this drop. And, honestly, like this was part of the idea of the Pinecast in the first place, was to get to know the community and to get to know the creators. And that was about the most ideal one. That one and Imagine Replay are two of my favorites, because I didn't know too much about them beforehand.
Well, you're teaching us something, and you're certainly entertaining. So thank you from a lot of us who enjoy this.
It means a lot that people enjoy it. It makes it worth it. At least what I'm doing. I don't know about Mags is carrying all the heavy labor over there. But I want to go back to Pines for a second.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to me you were like a main guy in Pines from the beginning, as far as my point of view. You created the website, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing like, oh, I'm taking the website down, and it just seemed like you were kind of like transitioning out
Oh my
of
God.
Pineapples.
That's the impression I got too, Popper.
Yeah.
Because that was like shortly after you got the Predator.
Yes.
I believe, right?
The Mackator.
Yes. I think it's Mackator. We'd have to
Mackator. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Predator, Mackator. You're right. Yours might be. I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Either way, potato. Unless Well, Mags, what do you think it is?
I think it's potato.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, let's call the whole thing off.
Where were we going? What was?
Well, yeah, I was just saying. I thought Mags was gonna carry it to the finish line here. He got lost, but no, it was just my impression. Like, you were real big into pineapples. You were like one of the main guys, and then all of a sudden, like, the website comes down, and it just, as an outsider that didn't really know you much at the time, it just felt like your interest had waned, and that you were basically done with pineapples. And now, all of a sudden, over the course of the last month, and especially week and a half, 2 weeks, I mean, you've just been on fire, buying up pineapples, doing a Twitter giveaway, and getting over 150, how many retweets? A ton.
Over 300.
Over 300 retweets. Gave away a pine. Did all of this Discord work of just like kind of going cowboy and chopping this thing up and really invigorating the community. So I'm just curious, is my impression of that right? Was there like a planning on leaving and came back?
I know what you mean. I definitely stepped away. I was still in Discord, but not as active for a while, just because I had things going on in my life that meant I could be a collector, but not quite as active. But, I've had more time recently, and it's been fun, not just reconnecting with people, but also getting to know some of these smaller groups of pineapple holders. And I think that energy has just kind of fed on itself. Each thing that we've tried that has either had a good response or we've enjoyed, just do more of it. And it's kind of snowballed the last few weeks. Yeah.
So what is your personal opinion on where is pineapples going? Like what drives you to want to continue to be a part of this and continue to invest more and even get the community engaged and give away?
I think I mentioned earlier, I love the art. A lot of the pop culture references appeal to some of the things that I would collect otherwise. So I as far as NFTs go, they're my favorite. And I think that the Rare Robot has much more of a vision than maybe some people realize. I think I've only seen glimpses of it. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting ride, and I'd like to be along for it.
Do you have any wild conspiracy theories you want to throw out to us?
I've been lately really fascinated by some of the connections between some of the custom pines, and this I'm sure is as a result of staring at them more through doing these rankings.
Yeah,
There are connections, and I think we've even started to debate some of these questions, like why are there so many different colors of blood and things like that have fascinated me, because I think there are reasons for all of those things, and I don't personally know where it's going. That's kind of, for me, the normal way I consume media, whether it's movies or books, or I like to have a bit of mystery, and I like that the more I learn, the more it seems James has already connected, and we're just finding out.
Very cool. Besides pines, what other NFTs are you into, or what are your other favorites?
I have a pretty good collection of Tigons.
Okay, so you're right in there. You're in the Tigon business with Aragorn.
Yes,
Monotone.
From the beginning. Yes.
Okay, Ballers in that too. Obviously, Swamp. Got a lot of big names in that one. Oh, so you were big on them right from the beginning.
Yeah,
okay.
I was lucky. I got the chance to talk to some of the guys from Verified Labs before their drop, just about, I think they got my name because of Pineapple Rarity. And we talked about just what I thought as a collector, what drew me to various things, and what we were seeing with the way people were consuming the rarity numbers. And they were thinking about the Tigons at the time. So I've been able to be a fan of kind of watching that develop, and I love what they're doing with the metaverse, and very excited to be a part of that community.
Yeah, Tigons, they definitely seem like they are doing pretty well. I'm certainly interested in, they're going to the sandbox, right?
Yes, they are going to the sandbox. I bought some land.
Oh, really?
I did. I think it's 14 sandbox blocks from the Tigons. So if you're hanging out with the Tigons, you're welcome to come by. And I don't know what I'm going to have yet. Do avatars drink? Do they eat? Like, I'll have whatever they need. Come on by.
Listen, I'll be honest. I am a total noob when it comes to sandbox. I don't even really understand. Can you give me just like the like on 5 version?
You know what Minecraft looks like?
So building with blocks, right?
Yep. You know what a mall looks like a shopping mall?
I remember those from back in the day, sure.
So imagine a mall the size of like New York City made out of Minecraft, and everybody's just developed what they think you might be interested in on their own little part of it.
So when you get in there, like, how do you visit the Tigons in the sandbox? Like, how are you there? It's just
that part I personally don't know yet. The betas that I've heard of so far, or that I've seen on like YouTube, you can try out a curated experience. So one of the stores in the mall, so say Nordstrom's says, try our experience. You can try that, but you can't go from one store to the next store yet. That ultimately will be something you can do. And at that point, you're welcome to come by and hang out at my place.
Oh, so that part of it is still in development.
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay.
Yes, there's a new beta 3. Is that what they call it? The third version of this beta. Let me get a real name so you can use
Alpha,
for the
Beta,
recording.
Charlie?
1 second.
Baller tweeted it out earlier.
Yeah, it's in the Tigon stuff.
This isn't like a VR experience. This is like some kind of a website.
I've only experienced it through a normal monitor. I think that the ultimate vision is bring your own client, right? So some people may be in VR. I don't personally know. I'm still learning that. It might be cross-platform is what I'm getting at. There is a channel in the Taigans Discord. Let me get a name. It's called Taigans Sandbox. There's a channel in the Taigans Discord called Taigans Sandbox, where they will keep you updated on their developments there. They've been working, I think, almost the whole year on their experiences, and they do provide from time to time little snippets of content.
Okay,
but we're still waiting. I mean, the short of it is we're still waiting to find out.
The Sandbox Alpha Season 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that starts. Did you get a date on that?
24 August, it says.
So August 24th, Sandbox Alpha 3. You'll be able to try a set of experiences they've curated. 90 plus.
I think it said like 90 plus games. I was just kind of watching the video. 90 plus games. There was like 650 quests. There's a bunch of things you can do in there. Kind of like I never really played it, but kind of like Mario Party almost. Like there's a bunch of different stuff to do, it sounds like.
Yes. And I think the takeaway, the call to action here is I know there are a few data drop collectors in the community that are going to try those quests together. So find us if you're one of those people. Baller's doing it. He's got me tagging along. We can get a good group going.
Sounds cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Do you foresee something like this for Pines?
There have been a couple of occasions where James has been in Discord and asked everyone what they would like to see in the Grove. And I think that the way he's asked it and the way he's hinted at metaverse things since, I think there is a metaverse component. Yeah.
Well, he did say in one of his tweets that there was going to be a more official announcement from Secret Pineapple Society about the metaverse. So it seemed like he did come out and confirm the metaverse. And then I think it was a tweet from PNN that said something about not being the only ones in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Do I have that right, Max?
So it was the twins. My good friends, the twins said that the Grove isn't meant for thee, which to me sounded like there's going to be more than just pineapples in there.
That is what it sounded like. Yes, it was. Not just for thee, right?
Close enough. I mean,
something like that. You weren't listening to them.
They're fine reporters.
Yeah, this is real stuff. Hard hitting.
This is serious.
All right, Mac. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming by. I know it was short notice, but it was great to have you. You've definitely been the MVP here lately with Pineapples, been really bringing a lot of energy back into it. And I know we certainly appreciate it. And it looks like the community is really starting to open their eyes back up to it. And you've even noticed that there's people posting in Discord that haven't been in a while. So it's really cool. We love what you're doing. And if there's anything that we can do to help going forward, we look forward to doing that together with you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me talk about it.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it, and we'll see you on the boards here
very shortly. Take care, man. Thanks.
Have a good night.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a treat at feedthecat.theta. Pops and Mags is a scumbag hat production in association with Kyle's Hot Tub.